Hello YouTube. So recently a lot of people actually asked me about my strategy. So in this video, I'm going to give you more than just a strategy. And it depends on how you're going to proceed it. I believe that it's going to help you a lot in your trading journey. And usually so far I have a 4 trades opening. And you can see that I'm using feeble retracement. And using feeble extension for the target. This one on this one. It never takes more than 10 seconds for me to actually see a trace. If I see it, I check it and I move on. So you can see right here, I using feeble retracement. I long right here and I'm going to be stop out. So I'm going to show you something here. So you can see that after a few winning trades, I got into another losing streaks, and it usually look like this. So that is how I trade and how my result look like for the past 2 days. You can see very consistent, even with my losses. So, do you still want the strategy? So, to be honest, when I say things like it takes me like 10 seconds to actually enter a trade, I believe that there are a lot of you people gonna piss off. And here's another trade that I took yesterday. You can see people retracement, stop out. Another trade right now, people retracement, very close to stop out. So you can see that this is a trade yesterday. I've been holding for more than 20 hours. People retracement. And you can actually see the entry, see how I chose the swing. There's nothing special about the swing. And here another trade I took yesterday. I using this feeble retracement, but yeah, price didn't work out. So to be honest, let's say if I enter a trade, like if I open the chart and I see something like this, I will have no fear to actually enter the trade right away and target 1 to 2, 1 to 3, something like that. But I promise you, even it look that simple, you will not be able to execute. You will not be able to trade the way I do because the simplicity in the way I trade, it actually has the complexity within it. Let me tell you exactly what I mean. So here I want to show you something. Here is a strategy that I have been using. Here is the strategy, but I like trying to using 1 to 2 risk reward ratio to see how it turned out. And here is the same trade, same strategy, and I try to use 1 to 1, and here is how the equity look like on the strategy with different risk reward ratio. And I want you to listen really like carefully because that is the reason why I never share my strategy, because I believe that most people they focus on strategy which is the wrong mentality. It took me years to actually come to realization, but this is one of the reasons that I believe it doesn't matter how good your mentor is. If you don't like improve yourself as a trader, if you don't have enough experiences in the market, or if you are not suffering enough, then probably there's still something missing. So let me go to the detail. So that is the result that I got after 200 trade. What does that mean? So after 200 trade, here is how the equity look like. I got almost 80 R in my performances. My win rate is 35%. The worst losing streak is 10 trades in a row. So let's say you try to trade like me, but can you handle 10 losing trades in a row? Well, many people will say yes, but when they face the reality, they're gonna they're gonna see that a huge difference. Because when we think about it, it feels yeah, maybe we can try, but when we're actually in the drawdown, it's so different. That's the reason why I not really recommending anyone to trade the way I do. Now the bet winning streak 5, the EV value after 200 trades is 0.73, which is pretty good. So on every single trade, I have as an expectancy value of around yeah 0.73 R. The longest holding trade is 12 days. So how many people do you think that can hold trades this long? A lot of people gonna think like they can be that patient, but to be honest, not everyone can handle such long unfolding trade like this. To be honest, and the fastest losing trade is 15 minutes. That means there are some trade, if not a lot of trade, that when I enter a trade, I immediately got stopped out. And sometimes it happened like 5 or 4 trades in a row. Get in, stop out, get in, stop out, get in, stop out. So do you think that you can handle that? Because all you want is a strategy that will make you somehow from a losing trader into a winning trader. But can you hold trades this long? Can you handle 10 losing trade in a row? Can you handle a very fast losing trade like this? Boom, right straight to your stop loss and just fuck you up. And the trade management style that I'm using is set and forget. So that means I let the take profit and stop loss do its job. And that's the only way I can trade many opening position, many pairs, and yeah, that is how it's done. And to be honest, it looked easier from the outside, but when you actually tried it, probably we will find some excuse to actually modify our trade, moving stop loss, moving take profits, cut the loss, take the profits manually, and yeah. So now look at this. So when I modify my risk reward based on the actual live trade, same 200 trades with 1 to 2, you can see my win rate improved to 46%. What does that mean? Does that mean with higher win rates, that means my mental capacity will be more stable. My trading performances will be a lot easier, to be honest, because I don't lose that often. But still, you can see my worst losing streak is around 9, and the best winning streak is still 5. But the EV value decreased to 0.43. You can see. So I want to show you another one. So after a few hundred trades using the same risk reward 1 to 3, I actually get the same EV value after another 200 trade. So the EV value from here, it decreased to here. So that is very interesting, and it actually matched up with 1 to 2 risk reward ratio. So I believe that the way I trade right now, because it's more trending based, so it's work probably with both 1 to 3 and 1 to 2. But with 1 to 2, it's way easier to handle mentally. But here's the thing, with 1 to 3, after another 100 trade, the worst losing streak that I got a 20 losing trade. So let me ask you, when you got 20 losing trade in a row, will you stick to your strategy? Or do you change to something new? Or do you optimize your trading strategy to something else. Trying to add confluences, maybe another indicator, maybe another concept, maybe yeah, some advanced stuff. And this is the reason why I really don't want to share my strategy, because the moment will come, and if you don't have enough experiences, if you don't have enough data, which you actually don't, the only thing you have is seeing me online, withdraw some shit, have some payout, and you think that I got something better than you. But in fact, the way I trade is very basic. So the win rate is very normal, if not like not really high. The way I do things is not very special, because I believe that it's not the strategy. It's more about the trader. And my strategy, it fit my personality, and it's really something that resonate with who I am, with my experiences. And if you try to use the same strategy, but you don't have the experiences that I have, you don't see the chart the way I do. You don't you haven't been through hells that I have been through, and there's so many things. That's reason why I believe that there's some kind of complexity level in my simplicity, in my simple strategy. And that's reason why I don't really want to share any uh, things that relate to strategy. And I believe that if you blindly follow anyone online, mentor, influencer, without filtering the information, without really collecting data, doing backstepping, sooner or later you're gonna shoot yourself. And in trading, consistency is something we all seeking, because you can win 1 week, 2 weeks, getting some huge payout, but eventually the losing streaks will come. And if your mind is not prepared for it, then everything gonna be collapsing, and you will be building everything from the scratch. So another thing I want to share is, if you're looking at this, when you have a, to be honest, high risk reward ratio or low risk reward ratio, you can see even the equity curve is a little bit different. All right, but at the end of the day, they are all profitable if I stick to the plan, if I stick to the rules, and I just keep executing, collecting the data, and really focus on what matter and don't give a shit about the P&L. And another interesting thing is that with lower risk reward ratio, you are allow yourself to have a higher win rate. So with higher win rate, to be honest, you can actually develop a strategy with higher risk, because you don't lose like too often. So that means you can actually risk more than this. Let's say this one make me ADR, this one make me like 50R, this one make me, let's say, 15R. But if I risking something like this and something like this, but this one I'm risking 1%. So you can see that at the end of the day, they actually look pretty similar. So you can see that with higher win rate strategy, even you have a like very low risk reward ratio, you still can manage to risk more. And even you got like 15R, but your R value is actually higher than the strategy. So actually, I'm not sure if you get what I mean, but they're actually the same. With 15R, higher win rates, lower risk reward, you can risk more, and you can basically make the same. Now let's say that I am risking less, I got higher risk reward ratio, even I got a lot of like ATR, but eventually I got like 20%, and it may be a little bit more than this thing, but the losing streaks that I have to suffer is like double than this one, double this one, and to be honest, it's not something that everyone can do. So the final thing I want to say is about my process as a trader and what I am trying to go for. So you can see that after around I think 2 or 3 days of trading, I got another 18K, and yeah, I decided to stop trading on that account. My primary plan is that I'm gonna keep executing, and doesn't matter how much money I make, I will keep moving forward and yeah, just push myself, push my edge. It's not for everyone. I don't really recommend anyone to push their edge because it is the same reason that I stopped trading on the account until the third payout. I'm gonna show you this. So here is my funded engineer account. I started the account probably more than 45 days ago, something like that. Yeah, and so recently I have been very consistent with with my trading, and I want to show you. So after I got my second payout, here is where I started to trade again. See, and you can see that I actually got a lot of losses. You can see how consistent I am with my losses. 2000, 2000, 2000, and my win is always around 6,000, 6,000, 6,000, 6,000. And here I got slippage because I hold the trade throughout the news. Not sure what news, but some kind of big news. And I got slippage. I lost 1.5 hour instead of 1 hour. And I accept it because I hold throughout the news, so I know the risk. Gold is very huge move during the news, so that is the price. Beside that, you can see all my trade is basically extremely consistent. My win rate after 100 trades is like this. My average reward, my usually my win is 3 times my losses, and so what I want to say is that despite the fact that I want to keep executing and not giving a shit about the P&L, but this is more difficult than I imagined because when we got into a certain amount of profits, in order to keep executing, I'm gonna say that it is another level of trading, and it's not easy. And to be honest, it is the second time I attempt to do this. So now it's the third time. The first time I do this with FTMO, the documentaries live funded for her. Okay, you can see me actually fail miserably. The second time I got payout with the engineer, I went to around 50K and then I lost back to around 30K, and that is the third time. But when I got into 30K and I lost back to 22K right now, is harder than I imagined. It's harder. The number it actually can get into our head, and the better we are at detracting ourselves from the P&L, the more data-driven decision we can make, and the more money we can have in our bank account will help as well. It actually builds a strong foundation for the way we trade, and when we can keep executing flawlessly, flowing everything, despite the huge progress, despite the huge loss, despite the drawdown, despite the losing streak or winning streak, that is another level of trading that I'm trying to achieve. And it's not easy. It's not easy at all. Because I believe that if I do have an edge, I have no reason to stop. I, I don't have any reason to stop. And stop trading because of the fear of losing the profit back to market is not something that I am proud of. And that is the level that I want to achieve. That is something that I am aiming for. And hopefully I can go there and show you how it's done. Because the top level in trading is more about the mental edge. It's more about the invisible force that stop you to go to where you want to go. It's more about something that very hard to describe, something very hard to visualize. That's reason why we at a trader we usually do things we are not proud of, and we repeat the same mistake over and over and over. And it took me 10 years. Now it's 14 years, and it's getting better. I'm feeling better every single day. I'm proud of myself, and hopefully I can keep going and show you how it's done. I'm planning to, I have a lot planned, and hopefully throughout this video, throughout everything I just say, you can think beyond a strategy. You can work harder for your edge. You can collect data. You can journal in the proper way, and that is a real message. That is something that hopefully I can weigh you up, because my strategy is average, but my mental edge, the things that I have been through, the situation that I brought myself into, the mistake that I made in the past, it built up who I am today to a version that can execute the strategy that I am using right now, and this kind of a whole combination. And at the end of the day, there is complexity within my simplicity. I wish you good luck and wish you a good weekend. I see you on the next video.